Hello! So I'm going to take you through a 30-minute dynamic Pilates class to make you feel powerful, to make you feel energized. There's going to be less breaks in this one, but please, again, if you find yourself losing form, please take a breath and then realign yourself again. The most important thing, even whatever Pilates you were doing, is that you have the best form and that mind-muscle connection. So let's get started. So we're going to start in a standing position on our mats, and I want you to have your feet about hip width apart, and then just going to align ourselves with relaxing down the knees, just tucking the pelvis in so that nice neutral spine, ribs are nice and tucked, shoulders are down, and then arms are down by our sides, just hanging heavy, shoulders relaxed. I'm going to just do a few breaths here just to really focus in and just center our minds. So take a nice deep inhale in through the nose, and then a big exhale out the mouth. Taking another breath in through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. And then one more nice deep breath in. Exhaling out. Then open the eyes if you've closed them. We're just going to engage our core. So as you exhale, I want you to imagine that you're pulling your belly button towards the spine. So taking a deep breath in through that nose. Ribs are coming out, and then exhaling out. Ribs go down and back. Belly button to spine. Going again, taking a breath in. Exhaling out. Really contracting, drawing those ribs together. And then relax. One more time. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Really belly button pushing towards the spine. So if you can hold that contraction for 3, 2, 1. And then relax. Lovely. And then just taking a quick neck roll here. Just looking over to the right. Circling the head around towards the left. Back to center. Looking to the left. Circling the head all the way around. A nice big 360 circle twice here. And then back to center. And then we're going to stretch over. So we're lifting that right arm up and overhead. Really stretching through the right side body. So left hand can be on the hip. Take your breath in. Exhale out. Coming back up to center. Left arm goes up and overhead. Right hand on the hip. Taking a breath in. Exhaling out. Back up to center. Lovely. I'm just going to take a few squats just to warm up that lower body. So taking a breath in, we're going to squat down, arms are in prayer, and then exhale, coming back up. So just doing this for 6. As you come down, just making sure your knees aren't going over the toes. They're not buckling in as you lift. Last 3, 2, 1, and then stay lifted. So next we're just going to get some rotation in. So having your hands around the back of your head, elbows are really nice and wide. We're going to start by squatting down. So maybe just taking your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. And then we're going to be squatting down, taking an inhale, and then exhale, twisting, trying to bring that knee to elbow and back to center. Now it doesn't have to reach. We're just keeping that twist in motion from the tops of our ribs. Okay, let's start. So staying here. Do 8 of these twists. Staying on one side. 7. Really twisting through that center. For 5. And 4. Really using that exhale for the last 2. And 1. And then your arms come down. Take a big stretch up overhead, stretching through the arms. Take a breath in. Exhale, come back down. Arms go around the back of the head. We're going to go into that right side. So squatting down and then lifting that right knee and that left elbow towards each other and then coming back down. So just staying here for 8 more. 6. Really trying to get as much rotation, keeping that core really engaged as you exhale. Okay, last 3. And 2. Last 1. Final 1 here. And coming down. Then walking to the tops of your mats. So we're going to come into Pilates dive, into plank position. Taking a big breath in, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, folding down. Hands reach towards the mat, walking the hands out into a plank position. So either here, full plank, or your knees can be lowered, just as long as the knees are in line with the hips, checking in that the wrists are in line with the shoulders. So if your knees are lowered, you're just going to be lifting those knees as we exhale up off the mat, and then up into a downward dog, and then rolling back down. If you're in a full plank, we're just going to be lifting those hips up towards the ceiling, rolling through into plank, and then back again. So staying here for 6. Exhaling as you roll into plank. Inhale as you go back to downward dog. Last 5. And 4. Keep a really soft bend at the elbows. As you exhale, really engage in that core, pulling that belly button to spine. Last 3. Whew. And 2. This is definitely a Power Pilates starting move. And last 1. Coming back into downward dog, just pedaling out the legs here. Take a breath in. Exhale out. And then crossing the legs, coming down onto our backs here. So we're going to be placing the feet on the mat, sitting with our knees bent, arms are outreached, and we're going to take a breath in and then exhale and peel down onto the mat bone by bone. And then arms come down flat on the mat, maybe walking the feet in towards the bum, taking a step out. And then just checking in here, just doing a few pelvic tilts, just to make sure you've got a space enough for a blueberry to fit just under that lower back. So you're not arching too much, and then you're not flattening completely. You're in a nice in-between state. Okay, so when you find that space, that neutral spine, we're just going to start, so our arms. So we're going to go into the 100. So we're going to move it in basically different phases and progression. So taking a breath in, exhaling out, lifting those legs to tabletop. Next, arms are going overhead, so reaching back behind us, really stretching through the fingertips. You'll feel the core start to turn on here as you find that neutral spine, keeping that pelvis slightly tucked. So taking a breath in, as you exhale, you need to peel your head, neck and shoulders off the mat, looking ahead, and then just rolling back down bone by bone. So just going here for 4. So exhaling up, really keeping that pelvis tucked in, trying to push that belly button down towards the mat. Okay, last 2 here. And last 1. Staying lifted here. We're going to pulse out the arms for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Exhaling out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and staying here for 10 more. Breathing in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more set here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Placing the legs down, and then just taking the knees in, rocking side to side, taking a breath in through the nose, exhaling out. Amazing, well done. Now, holding onto that right knee, we're going to extend that left leg out completely fully onto the mat. So right knee is tucked in towards the chest. Your left hand is on the right knee, your right hand is on the left ankle. And we're going to take an inhale. And then as we exhale, lift your head, neck and shoulders up off the mat, trying to bring your knee as close to the chest as possible. Then lifting and hovering that left leg just slightly off the mat here. And what we're going to do, we're going to be doing some switching of the legs. So we're switching the legs so the left knee comes in. That's it. So switching it through. Then using that breath here, exhaling as the opposite knee comes in. And then we're changing. Again, keeping that chin slightly tucked. Just staying here for 8 more. 7, 6, 5. If this is too much, you can have your head, neck and shoulders on the mat as well. Really engaging through that core as you exhale. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then placing the knees down. Arms come down beside you, taking a breath in. And then as we exhale, we're going to be lifting those hips up off the mat, peeling off the mat, that spine, bone by bone, all the way up towards our shoulders. Keeping a nice long line from my knees through to the shoulders, keeping those ribs nice and tucked in. We're going to breathe in here and exhale. Squeezing the glutes. Can you lift the hips any higher? And then we're going to come into some pulses here. So lowering down the hips halfway and then driving up. For 8, 7, 6, 5. Really squeezing the glutes as you drive through the heels. Last 3, 2, 1. Staying lifted. This is Power Pilates, so we're going to stay lifted. We're going to add in the arms. So arms kind of overhead. And then have them raise up towards the ceiling. As we lower halfway, arms drop down behind us. And then lift. Staying here for 8, 7, 6, 5. Really using that breath. Engage in that core. Pushing that belly button to spine as you exhale. Last 3, 2, 1. Placing the arms down, lifting the hips up any higher. Can you hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then rolling back down, hugging the knees in, taking a rock side by side. Breathing in here. Exhaling out. Amazing. So I'm going to come into some dead bugs here. So really great for the lower abdominals. So lifting those legs into tabletop, that 90-degree position. Knees are in line with the hips. Arms are reaching straight up ahead, up towards the ceiling. So we're going to start with our right leg first and our left arm going back. So taking a breath in, exhale, extend that right leg out and that left arm goes back behind you and then bringing it back into center. So staying here, speeding up that movement ever so slightly. Really pressing down, imagining that blueberry is still underneath you, keeping that space for that blueberry without squashing it. Really imagining a long line of energy from my big toe through to that middle finger. Pulling in here from the core for the last 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Then we're coming into crisscross. So arms go behind the head, lifting that head, neck and shoulders off the mat. We're going to be crossing out. So we're going to be twisting that right elbow towards that left knee. Extending that right leg out. And then switching over and changing. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then holding the knees in for a second, taking a breath. Exhaling out. Coming back into that tabletop position. So we're going into those dead bugs on the left side. So this time your left leg's extending out, right arm is going out behind you. So taking a breath in, inhaling as you extend that left leg, right arm comes behind you. Exhale, pulling back into center. Really drawing in from those lower abdominals. Staying here for last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Placing the arms down, feet come down to the mat. We're coming back into that shoulder bridge, just taking a breath in, exhaling out, lifting those hips up towards the ceiling. Then we're going to come into some marches here. So grounding that left foot into the mat, could be reaching that right leg into tabletop. And we're just going to do some pulses here to start with. So lowering down halfway and then lifting for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Placing that right foot down, marching that left leg up. We're going to pulse down, lower down halfway for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh my gosh, the sun's in my eyes. 3, 2, 1. Placing that leg down, just marching it out here. So bring that right leg into tabletop, placing down for 8. Switching to the left side for 7, 6, 5. Really using that breath to engage that core for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lifting those hips up any higher. We're just going to pulse the knees out towards the sides for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come in. Take a breath. Exhale. Rolling down. And then going side to side. Lovely, well done. Okay, rolling onto our sides here. So I want you to have your upper body at the back of the mat. Hand can be holding the head, or your head can be resting on the arm. And then we're going to start with some clamshells. So we're going to be opening up. So you either have your right hand onto the waist, and then we're going to have our feet both flexed. So taking a breath in, exhale out, and then lower. If you want to add on here, you can have your heels raised off the mat. So opening up that top leg ever so slightly, keeping those hips nice and square. Staying here for 8, 7, 6, 5. Keeping some space between that waist and the mat as well. Really drawing in that core for the last 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that bottom heel down. I'm going to draw in some circles with that right knee. So the knee that's lifted for 6, 5, 4, 3. Really feeling it through the side body. 2, 1. And then the opposite way, going for 6, 5, 4. Really feeling it in that side glute. I did legs yesterday as well for the first time in ages. Oh my gosh. 3, 2, 1. Stretching out that leg on top. Taking a breath in. Exhale, lifting. I'm just going to pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing that knee in. Coming up. And then over onto the other side. Actually, no, we're not going to do the other side. We are going to do some donkey kicks. So coming onto all fours. So staying on that same leg that you was just using and lifting. So that was my right side. So come into an all fours position. And then I want you to start by having your feet flexed. And then we're going to be lifting. So trying to top tap that ceiling with that right heel, but keeping our pelvis slightly tucked in that neutral spine. So we're not arching, we're keeping it nice and tucked. So we're lowering that knee down and then lifting. So it's all coming through the glute here. So really squeezing that bum as you lift. Staying here for 4. Last 3. Nice soft bend at the elbows, making sure they're not too locked. Last one, staying lifted, extending that leg out, pointing the toe. We're going to be lowering that leg down and then exhale to lift for 4, 3, 2, 1. Then keeping lifted, we're going to come into a press up. So keeping those elbows nice and tight. And we need to reach down as you inhale. So trying to tap that nose towards the mat. And then exhale, lifting back up, keeping that leg nice and raised, the glutes engaged. So tapping down. Exhale back up. It's really strong. Using that exhale, lifting that core to really help you lift up from. We've got 4 more here. Last 3, 2, and 1. Then staying lifted here, we're just going to do some small pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower down, come into a quick child's pose. Stretch out the back, stretch out from the hips. Oh, feels so nice. Taking a breath in. Whew. Exhaling out. Okay, and then coming back into that side body. So onto the opposite side. So I'm going to be on my left side now. Lining up the back of the body, the top of the body with the back of the mat. Knees are in line with the hips. And then having your heels raised off the mat, keeping a nice space just underneath the waist. Make sure everything's contracted through. We're going to start with by opening up that top knee and then closing again for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. And then closing down, dropping down that bottom leg. We're just going to do some circles here for 6, 5. So keeping those hips nice and in line. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then reversing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extending that leg out, pointing that toe. We're just going to lift up here. I'm going to do some pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering down and then coming on to the other side. So working that same leg that you was just lifting, we're going to come into those donkey kicks. So lifting up that left leg. So heel is raised towards the ceiling, foot is nice and flexed. Think about squaring off the hips, making sure that hip isn't lifting up. And then tilting that pelvis so you've just got that nice neutral spine. So lowering that knee down as we inhale, exhale, driving up. Really driving from the glute here. Staying here for 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Staying lifted, extending out, pointing that toe. We're going to lower down and lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying lifted here. Keeping those elbows tight, we're going to come into those press ups. So as we inhale, leaning down that nose towards the mat as far as you can go. You don't have to touch the mat, so let's just go as far as possible. And then exhaling, lifting up. So inhaling as we go down, exhale up. 6 more here. Really strong through the arms. Using that core to help you lift. Last 4. And 3. 2. Oh my gosh, sweaty one. 1. Last one here. And we're just going to keep that leg lifted and pulse up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then coming back, widening the knees, hips it back onto the heels. Walk the hands out for a second, taking a breath in here. Exhaling out. Amazing, well done. coming into the last movement. So coming onto your front here, we are going to go swimming. So this is great for posture and just working the whole body. So I want you to be completely on your tummy and then have your feet about hip width apart, keeping those glutes engaged. So we're going to start here by lifting up that left arm and right leg together as we lift our head ever so slightly off the mat. So taking a breath in and then exhale, lifting that head, right leg, left arm, and then back down. And then swapping sides, taking a breath, exhale, and lower down. And then just keep going, really using that breath. Remember to keep those glutes engaged as you're lifting through the legs. And seeing if you can speed up the movement. Can you go any faster? Almost like you're trying to do a little bit of swimming in midair. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lowering back down. Whew. Okay. Take a breath in. Exhale. Back into child's pose. Breathing in. That's every movement done. That was a quick 30 minutes. It's actually just under 27, but we want to give ourselves time just to really cool down and relax the body. So coming up into all fours, coming into a quick cat-cow. So inhaling, looking up, arching that spine, tailbone lifts towards the ceiling. And then exhale, chucking that chin to chest. Rolling through the back, really stretching through the shoulders. Breathing in, inhale, looking up. Exhale, rolling through. And then tucking the toes under, coming into a downward dog. So stretching through the backs of the legs, taking a breath in. Exhaling out. And coming into a quick pigeon pose. So bring that left leg behind that right wrist. So the left ankle is just by the right wrist. And then just shimmying around a little bit. Just making sure you feel comfortable in the hips. So if you're a little bit tighter, you can stay lifted like this. Just really breathing through it, really enjoying that spine, that stretch through the backs of the legs. Taking a breath in. Exhale out. If you want to, you can come down to your forearms or even just completely flat down onto the mat. Really enjoying that last stretch. Exhale out. Coming up onto the hands, swapping sides, so back. So tucking in those right toes, up into downward dog. Breathing in. Exhale. Bringing those right ankle to the left wrist. Oh my gosh, this side really needs it. Wow, that's tight. Whew. Okay. Breathing in. Exhale out. Just wiggling around here, just trying to get that movement into the hips, really getting that nice stretch. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Coming onto the forearms if that feels good for you. Just using that breath. Exhaling through. Closing your eyes for a second. Just saying thank you to your body here whilst you've got this moment of stillness. Okay, coming up onto the arms. Back into downward dogs, tucking under the left toes. Stretching back through the backs of the legs. Breathing in here. Exhaling out. And then coming into a cross-legged position. Whew. Okay. Wow, that was dynamic. Jeez. Wow. All right. Okay. So just closing out here. Just closing the eyes. Hands on the knees. Just breathing in. And then lifting the arms up towards the ceiling. Closing the eyes if that feels good for you. Stretching through the spine. Exhale. to release. One more here. Breathing in. As you bring those hands up towards the ceiling. Stretching through. Bring those hands towards the chest. Just closing those eyes. Keeping them closed. Sorry, I've said that 3 times. Keeping them closed if that feels good for you. And just thanking your body. Thank you for yourself, for showing up, for just giving yourself 30 minutes. And just enjoying this last moment of stillness before you go about with whatever you are doing after this. Opening the eyes when you're ready. Thank you so much for doing 30 minutes of Pilates with me. That was amazing. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any feedback, any comments, anything you'd like to see, please just let me know. And yeah, hopefully I see you soon. Bye.